Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting again on the lower time frame for Bitcoin, and then later on in this video I will move on to the higher time frames. First of all, on this 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, you can see that right now we have actually just broken this downtrend here, and then as soon as we really entered the weekend here, we saw some typical Bitcoin weekend stuff, which is basically just trading sideways. Now, what we might be seeing unfold in front of our eyes right now is Bitcoin breaking out above 90,000 US dollars and then coming back down to retest that 90K level. So if this now starts to shape something like this, then very likely we are going for another move to the upside, potentially even making new all-time highs. And yes, I am still in my short position from about 92.9K for the Bitcoin price, because I am just using this as a hedge in the case that we actually do get more downside, because that is technically speaking still on the table. Although for now I am still actually bullish, because I am actually still long from down in this range here before we got this massive pump to the upside. So yes, I am in a long position and a short position at the same time. Now the plan here in the short term is simply that, if we just get further resumption to the upside, I'm completely fine with this hitting my stop loss here. And then we blast further to the upside from there, because again, guys, just like I said yesterday, if we now break out above 93K, then very likely we are getting a further resumption to the upside. Now, if we take a look at the 4-hour RSI for Bitcoin, which is the Bitcoin momentum indicator, this has now also broken out of this downtrend. Although for now, since we are still in this weekend, we are slowly creeping back down to around this 50 level here, because whenever there is neutral momentum, the RSI basically resets down or resets up to around this 50 level here. And of course, if we now get bearish momentum, then we could even see this start to move down a little bit more quickly. Although to me, this setup looks pretty bullish, because for example, if we take a look at the 1 week RSI for Bitcoin, we saw something very similar here, where we got this big downtrend. This was like a 6 or 7 month downtrend for Bitcoin, because again, remember that we are looking at the 1 week time frame here. And then we broke the RSI downtrend right around here. And I called this out in my videos, saying like, hey, I think we are now seeing a shift in momentum, and this could be the run up to break this descending channel resistance. Of course, since then we have just blasted off to the upside. So to me, it's looking like a similar setup, but just on the lower time frames here. But as always, guys, we need to have some point of invalidation, which in this case would be breaking back below this descending trend line, or it would be if we break below this descending trend line. In the case that that happens, we would still be in this range between 90K and 85K. But again, just like I've been saying over the last couple of days, if we break down below 85K, likely we are coming down to come grab some liquidity to the downside here. Now zooming out to the 1 day time frame, yesterday we got this daily candle close above the 1.618 Fibonacci level. And the more daily candle closes that we get above this Fibonacci level here, basically just chopping around, the more confident I will become that likely we are getting another move to the upside, while of course keeping in mind the points of invalidation that I mentioned here earlier in the video. Now, in the case of another move to the upside, there are some potential price targets. For example, that 100K level is going to be very important to break, because a lot of people are going to be taking profits around that level. And I'm just basing that off of the idea that this 100K level is going to be a big psychological level for people. If we just objectively look at the Fibonacci levels here though, the 2.618 Fibonacci level is sitting at $113,000 for the Bitcoin price. So it could get pretty insane here if we actually end up flipping 100K into a level of support. But for now, it is a little bit early to be talking about flipping 100K into a level of support when we are actually in the process of trying to flip 90K into a level of support first, right? Let's take a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on the 3-day time frame, what you can see right now is that most of the liquidity is in fact to the upside, sitting at 92.3K. So we have about $200 million worth of short positions here of people that probably think that the top is either in or they are just in a hedge position, similar to what I am doing. Either way, as you know, if you have been following me for some time here, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. And right here, you can see that it is to the upside. Now, there is even some more liquidity here, about $80 million sitting at 93.2K for the Bitcoin price. So yes, again, there is more liquidity to the upside. In terms of liquidity to the downside though, over the weekend here in the last couple hours, we took out about $100 million worth of long positions at 90.5K, and there is more liquidity at about 89.5K, with most of the liquidity to the downside being at 86.2K for the Bitcoin price. So again, coming back to this chart, if we break down below this 90K level, likely we are coming down here at the very least to grab some liquidity. Zooming out and taking a look at the 2-week time frame here, you can see that this 86K is an important level, because the biggest pockets of liquidity below that are at around 80K and then 75K. So that is why I'm saying that holding that 85K level is important for Bitcoin. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables, yesterday we saw another $200 million outflow from the Bitcoin ETFs. So here, over the last 2 days, we saw about $600 million worth of net outflows. And to me, this points towards people just doing a little bit of profit taking, because over the last month or so, we have seen nothing but massive inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs. And yes, even though for now, I do think that this is just some profit taking happening around these highs, at the same time, I will continue to track this every single day, because this little bit of profit taking can quickly turn into panic selling, similar to what we saw here in terms of panic buying. We saw about $500 million worth of inflows here every single day, and then suddenly we get a $1.4 billion inflow, followed 2 days later by another $1.1 billion inflow. And again, guys, this is in a single day of trading. So that is why we must keep an eye on these Bitcoin ETF flow tables every single day. Either way, this has been today's market update. Don't forget to come join the Road to 1 Million Discord community, which is one of the most active crypto trading Discords in the crypto space right now. So if you are a crypto trader, come check this out. You can join it completely for free with the link in the video description. But regardless, if you do end up joining or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.